right, guys. Tell me if you can hear or see me. Pastor Norman can't see me on the screen, and I can't see him on the screen. So we don't know what's going on. Please let me know
Maybe he'd go out and come in again.
let me know if you can if you can see and hear us. Let me know. This was acting really strange a minute ago. Thank you, Pearl. Thank you, Pearl. Can y'all see Pastor Norman? Because I can't see him. I don't see him at all. Thank you, darling. Appreciate it. Brother Norman, if you can hear me, go out and come back in and see if that helps. If not, I will go out and come back in. You guys will have to come back in with me. I don't want to do that if I don't have to. Don't know what happened. It was some weird things going on a minute ago with this computer stuff. So anyway, I hope Pastor Norman can get in here. Let me stop this banner from running right now. See, look there. You got stuff that's on there that don't make sense. Okay, here we go. Whew. And see, none of the stuff I put up there is there. Anyway, this is weird. This is very, very weird. Very, very weird. So
maybe if you go out and come in, yeah, I won't
I've
help.
done that
You won't
and
worry
came
about
back in. Bear with me if you will. Just please bear with me, because this is crazy. This is a little strange. We're not sure what's happening. Not sure what's happening. Everything seems to be okay. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Sandra said they can hear and see us, Pastor Norman, but they can't see you. So is it on your end?
It's okay.
So Pastor Norman, go out and come back in. See if that helps. Or I can send you another link. Let me do that, okay? I'm going to send you another link. He did go out and come back in. Let me send you another link, Pastor Norman. See if I can get you in here. Let's see if I can get you back in here. Hold on. Hang in there, guys. Hang in there. All right. I'm going to send you an email, Pastor Norman. See if that works. I don't know, for some reason your link may have gotten lost. Because like I said a minute ago, everything was kind of going haywire on this computer. And the internet went down and came back up. So that may be why. So just a sec. You guys patient. I hope you're patient. Okay, I sent you one. Let's see if it works, okay? Let's see if it works. He said he got a thumbs up, so hopefully it came through. I missed my stool. I moved it because I wanted to shampoo.
You need it back?
No.
I ain't go get it.
No, it's okay. I can do without it. I've been planning to do the shampoo in my rug and never got to it today. Norman is still in the closet. John Greaser said you're still in the closet, Norman. He might, maybe the link. I don't know what happened with the link. Oh, anyway. Hey, y'all. Let me see who else is here. My sister, my brother-in-law. Hey, sister. You didn't even hug my neck when I left you the other day. I thought about that thing. I said, wait a minute. My sister usually hug my neck till I
jump back in the house like she's scared
and
rabbit.
She jumped in the house before I even got.
I looked around. She's going in the door.
after I got in the house, I said, I felt some kind of way. I said, she didn't even hug my neck. She just helped me get out the door, and that was it.
Turned salty, didn't she?
Yeah, she did. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Let's see. Pastor Norman, you still aren't coming in. Waiting for the new link to come through. Oh my goodness.
It ain't come through to him yet.
No, we haven't gotten to him yet. Do I need to send another one? She said she thought about that and she's sorry. You ought to be sorry. I thought about saying I felt some kind of way. I did. I felt some kind of way.
Yeah, you must have been high or drunk or something.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, Pastor Norman, I don't know what's going on, baby. I really don't. I don't know.
Oh.
But I know StreamYard has been, look, see this?
That's crazy.
StreamYard has been making some changes. And they're messing with stuff. I'm going to send it again. Sent it again, okay? Okay. Well, I hope you can get in, darling. I really do. I hope you can get in. Well, let's see. I didn't see who else was here. I know Sister Pearl's here because she was telling me that that she could hear and see us. So yeah. And Sandra, hey, darling, she said she could see us. And John Greason's in the house.
She says she can't hear Pastor Norman.
Yeah, they couldn't see or hear him. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it's something going on your end, Pastor Norman, if you're still hearing us. I don't know. I hope you can get in. Oh, Pearl said other YouTubers have been having issues too with StreamYard. Okay.
Wonder why.
Okay. I don't know. They've been making so many changes until I think they kind of got things all kind of screwed up. Because if I can get Pastor Norman in, let's see if I can send him a messenger invite. I'm going to see if I can send him it that way. I'm going to try that, Pastor Norman, send you a messenger invite. And now I gotta, oh shucks, now I have to prove that I'm who I am. Oh, you guys are going to see me just go crazy here in a minute. In a minute. Wow. Now Facebook is trying to say I'm not who I am. And I don't remember the password. So shoot, I can't do that. I have it written down, but I don't have it with me. Oh my goodness. Well, shoot, Pastor Norman. Oh, I'm sorry. You couldn't get in. Well, listen, we love you. You can comment. Yes, sister, you had me feeling some kind of way.
So he's watching on his
iPad. Yeah. Well, I don't know what's going on, Pastor Norman.
But where you
I've done all I can do.
Is it over in your paperwork?
My I don't want to take too much time doing this, honey.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
The people waiting on us. I don't want to do that. I have to search through my papers to find that. And I don't remember what it is. So you gonna talk while I do it then?
Well, I mean,
say something. Yeah, so they don't have to just sit there and watch me do this.
Okay.
You want to talk?
I don't know what I'm going to talk about.
I don't know.
I don't either. I'm just cutting up with you, girl. There he is.
There he is. So they don't have to just sit there and watch me do this. There you are.
Now, there you go.
Yeah, now I'm hearing another voice.
Somebody talking.
Yeah, he had some.
Hey.
Well, what the world? What the world, boy?
Oh, no. I have no clue.
It's been crazy. Just the last 15 minutes, all of a sudden, the laptop screen, the monitor was fine. The laptop screen was going crazy, and it was saying it was a bad internet or network connection. So I unplugged everything, plugged it all back up, and it was fine. But then when it's time for you to come in, I guess your link had expired or something. It didn't work.
I mean, I was watching it. I mean, I'm seeing y'all on YouTube on my iPad. But
Yeah, I
was
saw
on my-
you. Yeah, I saw you say hello. So I think he's here. But anyway, thank goodness you made it.
I'm going to blame it on AI again.
It's, I know. It's crazy when you have to deal with these crazy things. And I do know that StreamYard has been making too many changes since they changed owners. And so that's part of the problem too.
John Grayson said, enlighten us
Enlighten
all.
them. Go ahead and talk then.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now-
jump in.
Now, here's a good one for you. And this is going to waking up to your true identity. I was thinking years back that union with Christ in Galatians 2:20 would be one of the most acceptable things in church because it was in the book. But there are some things in the book that the church don't even accept. And they swear that everything in the book is true. But if that is the sum total of their function is the book, then go back and read Galatians 2:20. And let me tell you something else. Everybody I talk to, when I talk to them about the Christ consciousness, and they talk about blessing, I have seen for 2 days, every one of them take their hand and point up in the sky, the man upstairs. Well, I didn't never think about the man upstairs until I woke up to the man that's upstairs is also downstairs. I remember seeing Jesus in person. My wife and I looking at him at the same time was upstairs. And that's where we stayed in her mother-in-law and my mother-in-law and father-in-law's house when we got married. We stayed with them and we slept upstairs. But one night we come in from church and we were standing in their room talking to them after church, and they's in bed, and we were standing at the door. And I turned and I said, is somebody coming down the stairs? And I looked, and it was me over in the night around 2, 3, or 4 in the morning. And I would always wake up and come down the stairs and turn and go under the stairs where there was a closet for my prayer time. But this time I saw me standing, I was in the room with my mother-in-law and father-in-law looking at the steps through the wall. And I saw myself come down the stairs. Like it was 2 parts to me, but I didn't know it was 3 parts. The third part of me was Jesus. So I come down the stairs, and when I got to hit the landing on the main floor, I disappeared. And all of a sudden I looked again, and I saw a robe coming down the stairs. And I didn't recognize who the robe was, who was wearing it. Till after a while, as they come on down the stairs, I followed the robe from the edge of it, and it was covering the feet of whoever was wearing it, and I couldn't see him. I didn't know that if I wanted to see him, all I had to do, his feet, was the desire to see it, and I would have, but I didn't know how the spirit world operated.
Mm-hmm.
When I looked up, it was Jesus. He come down the stairs.
Now, mind you, I was sharing this experience with you.
Yeah, that's what I just told him. I said, you were standing there looking at it with me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And while we were standing there looking at Jesus, I turned my head away to see what in my mind was pulling a trick. But I turned and looked back, and there he was standing with 1 foot up on the landing, up on the step, and one down on the main floor, right there, with a few inches up. And I looked at her and I looked at him, and all of a sudden he cut out a piece of his robe and magnified it 10,000 times 10,000 where we could both see the
It was a
threads
quick flash.
flash.
Mhm.
And I looked, I said, did you see that?
Now we've told this story a million times,
Yeah,
haven't we?
but my point is based on what I'm getting ready to read off of my notes here.
Okay.
Jesus stood there on those stairs for days, and miracle after miracle about us getting a house, a mobile home took place. I can still see him in that same place. Now, here's what I'm going to read to you. I didn't know that Jesus was me coming down the stairs every night to go to that prayer closet under the steps. Waking up to our true self is called forgiveness, or forgiving yourself for coming to this dimension or coming here to be the false self.
Can you repeat that? That's
Okay.
a long sentence.
Waking up to our true self is a sign that we are forgiving ourselves, forgiving the false self for coming here, and for us believing that the false self was us.
It's longer now.
I know I'm adding to it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Waking up to our true self is called forgiving yourself for coming here to this dimension to believe that you were the false self.
Okay.
Now that's a whole lot.
Yeah.
How many of us are trapped in the subconscious mind of the belief that we are this false self, and that when we leave this world, that will be the end of us? And that's the reason why I tell people to investigate whether it's true or not. You need to investigate into the truth of near-death experiences. But see, in my case, I had a genuine experience of an out-of-body event and seeing Jesus before we got married in person. And that's what caused me to go to the church. But when I got to the church, I didn't tell everybody then what I'm telling you guys now. I've been telling you for quite some time, because it took over 50 years for me to unravel what really was taking place from the day that I saw Jesus, all the way back to direct experience of remembering everybody on earth in heaven before coming to earth. There's not a person on this planet that came here that did not come in the originality of the eternal self, that did not come from Christ. Every last one of us came to this world and lost our memories
Yes.
of where we all came from,
Yes.
in order to accept a false identity
Yes.
of separation
Mm-hmm.
from our true identity versus the Christ.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, everybody is not going to see this at one time,
Some may
and
not
some
ever.
may not ever,
Not in
because
this
based on
lifetime.
their contract, they were sent here to bug us who woke up, to try to keep us from fully walking in the full awareness of being an eternal Christ.
Well, and even more than that,
It's more than that.
yeah, there's so many reasons why some don't wake up, because
There's more reasons.
there are
That's right.
roles to be played that have to
Right.
be played
That's right.
in order for the scripts to be fulfilled.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. So it's why I look at our current leadership in our country, and I won't allow myself to get angry with them, even though I do get angry with
There
them.
is a
I
point. It is angry.
I won't allow myself to stay angry, because I realize he is definitely playing a role that God intended for him to play. And it has something to do with the status of America in this world, not so much just this nation. This is not about this nation. It's not about our country, America. This isn't really about racism or ICE or any of those things. This is really about the status of America in relation to all the other nations. And so if prophecy is real, and I think that it is to a degree, of the different things that have to take place, then America is supposed to lose its status.
And let me share something else with you. When Jesus was on the steps, I looked in his face, and everything I did with my head, turning it or looking down, he mimicked me, or I mimicked him. The only thing that I saw about Jesus when I saw him, I did not ask him. I think I did one time about being a Jew, Greek, black or white, African, or a foreign person from a foreign country. I was so overwhelmed with him that the only thing that I can remember is looking in his eyes, and I could see miles and miles of eternity. I didn't know till later on that the only part of Jesus that changed colors was the eyes that he was, the seeing eye in every physical body in the universe. From dogs, cats, animals, and everything that had different color eyes, his eyes was the color of everybody's eyes in the universe. But there was no such thing as race, black or white, Jew. There was no such thing as dark skin, light skin. He was pure spirit. I didn't even take notice to pay attention to his hands until after he stood on the steps and pointed to me and said, "Stay in the way." Now, the way that he was telling me to stay in was stay in your true identity. I didn't know that I was watching myself come down the stairs every night, and that my contracts was to follow him in my identity. His name, and another time he took me into the council room, he sat down at the table and he showed me, he said, when I looked up in the ceiling, I saw my name and his name. And he told me that his name was Clifton Sawyer in heaven, and my name was his name on earth. Now, these are mysteries.
And you shared them many times.
Many times. And I'm sharing this because it bears repeating itself, that when I read this in here, waking up to our true nature, our true self, is called forgiving yourself for coming here to believe that you were the false self above your true identity. Now, this, our real self, is who chose to come here to be in this dream and wake up. Our true self came here to act like it has lost itself in order to wake up, to find itself as the Christ already in every man. The Christ has been the real us if there ever was a day one. And I've always said different cups, same cup, different juice.
And it's important that you clarify that when you say the Christ, we're not talking about Jesus the man.
No, we're not talking about the body.
We're talking about divinity itself.
We're talking about the eternal self.
That Christ that is all and in all. That divinity that is in man. That man itself is I want to say this is a dichotomy, both human and divine. And so the two must merge, and this is where we live in between two worlds, because we have this human body and we have these human attributes and we have human emotions and all of these different things that come with being in this earth. And yet we have the divinity that's lying in a lot of us, that's lying dormant inside of us, and then it wakes up. And when it wakes up, then we begin to discover more and more about ourselves in that way. We are very familiar with our humanness. We're not familiar with our divineness.
That's the big trap of coming into this.
We're not familiar with our divineness.
Now, Jesus came and woke up to this that we're speaking of.
Yes, and this is why he was the master. This is why.
And every one of us as eternal spirits were inside of him before the foundation of the world.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's the reason why he said, I and the Father are one.
Now I want to give Pastor Norman a chance to talk if he's got
Yeah,
something.
if he got something he want to share.
I'm,
No, you know that.
I'm really chuckling. I want to make reference to something that Dad said three times, and he made a statement about where we come from. And one statement you said we come from heaven. So now I just want to ask that question before I go any further. Where do we actually come from?
Now, I'm glad you mentioned that. I use the term come from, but it's not really usable.
Exactly.
You can only use it in the finite mind, but actually, we didn't come from anywhere. We've always been everywhere as the eternal self. I just use that as to say amen to those who can't see any further than just coming. But in actuality, we've always been. If you get outside this, now see, there's some of us, when we leave our bodies, we're going to relocate, and that is not true. That's not full awareness. Because we are everywhere present in omnipotent omnipresence.
Not knowing our divine selves, we don't realize a lot of times that we're multidimensional. So we're in so many dimensions at one time.
Exactly.
And it's but our finite minds can't handle that. It can't picture
it don't
that.
Want to.
It can't. It can't. The finite cannot understand or
the infinite.
Even right. It can't. It's not that it won't. It just can't.
Now we're beginning to understand what it means. I and the Father in us.
Yeah. He was about to say something.
And see, the reason why I asked that question, because you gave the answer, because we're not coming from nowhere. Again, we all exist in the mind of God. And so when you made the statement about coming from heaven, this is why people need to understand that heaven is not a place that we go to. That's why we can have heaven on earth right now. Like Mom said, we are multidimensional, which means we can experience several different dimensions all at one time, because we're created just like our Father. If he's omnipresent, we are also omnipresent, as once again being one with him.
Yes, I didn't mean to break you up. Go ahead. You finish.
Because I was just gonna say, because we're just simply expressions of him.
Yes, like the sun shining, and we're the rays that came from the sun. So it's but I've heard some, and I'm not an expert by any means, but there are some who've had out-of-body experiences, near-death experiences, near-death-like experiences, who said that there actually is another us in different dimensions living at the same time. Like this, everything's happening all at once. Creation's happening all at once. It's not creation happened and then it passed. It's happening now. It's always happening. Everything that God does is perpetual. So when we talk about back in my Jesus in me days, in the confines of religion, we used the blood of Jesus a whole lot, and we thought that Jesus shed that blood, and we used it like, I plead the blood on this and I plead the blood on that, and we think that happened once and it stopped, but that was a perpetual cleansing. It's a perpetual thing. Everything that God does is perpetual. It never ends because it's of eternity. It cannot stop. It is done and it's continually being done. And so we think that everything starts and stops. That's our understanding because of where we live. This is the way this world works. Everything starts and stops. Everything begins and ends, and everything. And so we live in this finite world, and we think that God in eternity is the same way, and it's not.
Okay, let me give you a blast. A blast. God is convinced that he's us. Now, God is being baptized and filled with awareness through us as being us. Gradually, it takes on the Christ self, what we believe takes from our side to the Christ self. The Christ self is convinced more of being us than we are convinced in the finite mind of being him. This is where the warfare come in, and it's not about Satan or demons. It's about waking up. The Christ self is waking up more and more in the sense of giving out the experience, direct experience that he really is. He told me, he showed me in the council room that my name was in heaven and his name was on earth.
Now, you know, this is interesting because we were, some of us, those of us who came through the Christian religion, we started off really worshiping Jesus,
really
as being different from us and far above us in being able to in power and in everything. We've idolized Jesus, but Jesus did not come for that. Jesus came to show us an example of what we are, and we didn't know that's what he was doing, but that's what he was doing. Now Jesus had a different mindset. His mindset was this, when he said, I and my Father are one. Okay, he had that mindset first of all, and then he also had the mindset to love God and your neighbor as yourself. He had that, and then Jesus was living as a man incarnated in his body, and that he knew that God was incarnated in him.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we didn't start off like that. We started off thinking we were sinful and contaminated because we were told by all of those who came before us that you were born in sin, taking that scripture out of context, where David said he was he mourned the day he was born in sin and shaped in iniquity, not realizing that came from the remorse that David was feeling. Mm-hmm. That was not truth about us.
No, it's not truth about him.
And so the Judaic religion, which is what Jesus came through, is what the Jews have. They never started out with the concept of being contaminated. They never started out with the thought of I'm sinful when I was born. No, they know they were born in the image of God, or made in the image of God. So that concept was born out of religion, and it was used to control the masses. So now we're coming to a point in humanity, I should say, as a species, to know that is not true, that we didn't start off with something wrong with us. We didn't start off with something broken. We didn't start off as something that God didn't want or couldn't accept. God is already, as he was with Jesus, it's God in man. That's what divinity is. And we're now coming into this understanding, coming into this truth, and realizing it and accepting, embracing it. And then there are those of us who are actually getting glimpses of it, having the experience of it in our day-to-day lives.
Exactly. Going back to Jesus, again, we have to understand, and you said it, God is in us as us. And so Jesus, again, being the perfect example, perfect pattern that we should all gravitate to, he came to show us, because Dad and both of y'all mentioned about how we are more familiar with our human side versus our divine side. And so, of course, we have forgotten how divine we actually are.
Oh, yeah.
We bought into the humanity side of us. But Jesus came and he showed that you could be human and not forget that you are divine.
He showed us it was possible.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's the clue right there. Not forget.
Was the purpose of us showing.
But we slip in and out of joint.
And what slips
as we're coming upon, remembering resurrection on his coming son. He even did that to prove to us that our true self could never die.
Exactly. So he really showed us it's possible for a human to walk in oneness. And then and like I said, some of us have come to a point not just to embrace this truth, but now are beginning to really experience this in many different ways in our day-to-day lives.
Mhm.
Just this week past, and I shared it with my honey bun here.
Honey bun.
With all of the things that we've been dealing with personally, even when like things like happened with the computer today, all of those things happen. It used to affect me in a way that I would be so stressed. And now just the fact that I realize there's no such thing as control. It's absolutely an illusion. And what I've done, and I don't know how I slipped into it, it's just the grace of God.
That's it.
I slipped into not trying to have control.
Yeah.
And the minute that happened, there's something went limp inside of me that was always on guard, always trying, always pushing forth effort. And it's like a clearness. It's like clear wind started blowing through my head. Just that's the way it felt. And so we are being graced to have the experience of what we've been embracing all this time.
Exactly. Where there's control, there's no fluidity.
Yeah.
Which means you can't flow, you can't be fluid. And so that's the thing that's keeping a lot of people boxed in, because we look for these controlled environments.
Yeah, well, our whole lives are built on that. And there's no such thing as certainty in this earth plane.
Here's the definition of the Christ self in the area of prayer, or somebody praying for you. Do you know the Christ self is the praying, the existed, tangible prayer of God? God's presence as the eternal self in us is the prayer of faith. It is, we are all the spirit of prayer. Let's see if I can say it another way. I'm trying to take something.
We can sum it up with what you're pretty much quoting what's written in Scripture in Romans chapter 8.
It's not something you do.
Exactly. Well, again, remember when the Scripture says when we don't know what to pray for?
That's right.
Helpeth our firm groans, but see the part that we don't never make reference to, which is verse 27, and it says, "He that searches the hearts knoweth what is the mind of the Spirit, because he maketh intercession for the saints according to the will of God," which means it is him that's praying.
Exactly.
What I'm saying is, you bite an apple, you are eating an apple. The apple goes inside of the stomach and is digested into the form of being you. Christ fully digested is seeing the eternal you as always have been inside these bodies from day one as the eternal self. Now, if you don't go spirit on this, if you don't go spirituality on this, and let your mind and the ego bounce you back and forth to the book, paper, and ink, you're going to fuss at me, and you're going to say, I can't find that in the book. Well, I can't find you in the book. When it comes down to reality, I can't find anybody in the book that's flesh and blood. All I find in the book is ink and paper, or something that somebody said. What I'm talking about is pertinent truth, present right now existence. Our existence as the eternal self. Okay, go ahead and leave your body, die, and come out. You'll look back at your body and you'll find out that is not you. It is a portion of something that pretend that it was you, because that was what we were convinced in our subconscious mind, if that's even true, that we were physical beings, and that's all we have always been. That is not true. Now, I asked the question, what are you going to do when you find out that what we say is exactly down the middle of the road? And you are really, and have always been, a Christian even at birth. The life that you now live in this body is the life of the Son of God who loved you and gave himself. Oh, did you really hear that? Who gave himself? The Christ. Who gave himself? Jesus. Well, then Galatians 2:20 said, we all were crucified with him, buried with him, and was raised with him. So who is the real Christ in this body? These are questions that need to be settled, because being trapped in disillusion has convinced everybody in this world that they are the physical body, and that's all it is to them. And when the moment comes it die, you're going to be surprised. So I would say this: somehow or another, you need to find out the truth behind this, because if you do find out the truth behind this, you're going to find out that a lot of things been taught in church is lies.
Well,
I'm going to shut up.
well,
I'm going to shut up. I'm going to be quiet. I ain't gonna
well,
say nothing.
actually, now we've said we stumbled on quite a few
I hear
sacred cows.
Sacred cows. I better stop.
But it's
I'll
okay.
stop.
It's okay, because I think those that are listening to us, they wouldn't even be here if they didn't weren't used to this.
I'm going to stop.
But they want to have the sacred cows slain. So that's why they're here. But there's even the theory and everything that we are saying in regard to history and how things actually happened is all theoretical. I want to say that. I want to make sure you all realize that. No matter what you studied, what source it came from, you cannot say it is absolutely true. Everything has to be taken as if it's theoretical.
We used to think like that.
Yeah, because you don't know where they got that from.
No.
And so this is the thing. We realize that there are so many people now, and because of the exposure to the internet, and we have access to so many different versions, there are people who don't even believe that Jesus got crucified. So these are issues that now are facing the church. The church doesn't have the weight or the clout it once had, because now people are more educated. They are studying more. They're reading more. They're being exposed to different kinds of information. So now to sort through at one point, I was hearing so many different things. I said, man, I don't even know what's true. And then I thought, well, okay, I don't have to know what's true. All I need to know is myself. And if I know myself, like that little book we had said, he who knows himself knows their Lord.
Yeah.
So when you find yourself, you will find God, because God is nowhere else but in man.
Exactly.
He's in man. He's in man as godly attributes. He's in man as the energetic energy of life. God is in man. God is in everything that we see. So here we are. We're trying to find God as an entity in one location. The man upstairs.
That Alphabet people man upstairs, and he's standing
God is not one entity in a location.
That's right.
It's a body.
And this is where the concept of God that we've had in our minds has to be wiped out.
Y'all mentioned about sacred cows, and I say this with all humbleness, but we are experiencing something in our gatherings where I could take exactly the book that you read and study and you worship and you elevate and you promote. I literally show them, I'll take that same book and kill your sacred cow.
Exactly.
Exactly, because the way that they're approaching the scriptures, they're not approaching from a place of revelatory knowledge. And so something Dad said triggered something in me just a while ago when we was talking about we have forgotten that we are divine. And again, I made the statement, Jesus came to prove to us that we could be in these bodies and
Yeah.
still remember how divine that we are. He did that again by all of the different manifestations that he was able to perform. And so I'm noticing something when Dad said, I remembered a time of being in an awakened state where there were so many unusual, amazing, phenomenal things that were manifesting when in our gatherings, when like the church said, when the Lord will use me or whatever.
Yeah.
And then something happened where, because of trauma or certain things that we go through in life, we forget again how divine that we are. And so while you was talking about, something came to me when you was talking about being awake. What if we awaken? What if we wake up and notice that the demon that we've been trying to cast out is us?
Yes. Yes. And let me see if I can say what just came to me when you said that. We base a lot of our certainty regarding God on what we've read in the scriptures. And there's nothing wrong with that, except there are scriptures, like you said, you can take whatever book they read, you can even take the Bible itself and what they believe, and take that same Bible and tear it all down. Like, for instance, it says, answer a fool according to his folly. And then it turns right around in the next passage, says, answer not a fool according to his folly. Okay. And then it says, resist the devil and he will flee. And then it says, resist not evil. Okay. So which one are you going to adhere to? And so when we try to live with our finite minds based on words that are written, we find ourselves in a place where we can't even find God.
No.
We can't sense God. We're trying to find it with our heads, and God, it cannot be found with your head.
Exactly.
You can accumulate knowledge, but you will not accumulate God through knowledge.
Exactly.
Now, you may get a lot of information that make you feel like you know more, but that's what he said, that you get more inflated when you know more.
Exactly.
So here it is. We're actually, and Dad said it so many times, he feel like he's made it full circle. Started out, got saved. Okay, here we were running around partying, and God interrupted our lives, and we got saved. We started out and we went to church and got to preaching. We had a church, pastored the church, all of that. Come back around, drop the church, come back, drop the building, come to the online, and now we're coming back and we're coming to full circle, and it feels like we're just starting all over again. Just like that little guy that got saved and that little girl that got saved.
Yeah. Starting like a full circle.
Like we're still that we're those people.
And you know what?
And we think we lose that when we get saved. You don't lose that. That's what you were. That's what you are. And so you come full circle to accepting that you are.
Exactly. Now here's what gets my goat.
You got a goat.
A cow, a goat, a mule, a duck, or a chicken. Okay, here this goat. It's a goat too. Here we go. I'm in the ministry, and I'm thinking that I thought today when I was sitting there waiting for her to come out the store, what my heart desired in that building that I had, $1,280,000 building, I wanted to keep that building, so if anything happened to me, I would, at any time, the value of that building would make my wife a millionaire.
It couldn't happen.
I wanted to keep that building, so if I happen to quit and retire, she would still have the business. Okay, this is my okay. Now here we go. All of a sudden, I'm thinking that I was hired by God and can't be fired by nobody else but God. But then I found out, even though God hired me, the people don't have to show up. So it'll make you feel like you've been fired by God, because your investment is in congregational gatherings of people who believe in you as being a pastor. That's the definition of a pastor. If you're a pastor, you got a flock. Well, the flock left. But then when the flock left, I'm left with an empty building, and the bank wants to want us to enlure it back to them and clear our record. But here we go again. I'm in the same business that the Methodists, the Baptists, and the Holinists, and the Catholic and Holy Rollers and Union of Churches got, and they went through hell and still there. They still got a congregation. Some of them doing better now than they ever have been in the midst of all this war. I feel like a broke-neck chicken in a meat house. I started 40 fumbling and failed, thought I had it, but I let it get away.
Now this is
the feeling that I've had to deal with from the day I was found out as being half brother and sister to my family, my brothers and sisters.
So it gave you a sense of self-worth.
It did give me a sense of self-worth, and I've done something, and I'm doing something that nobody else in my family has ever done.
Okay.
So I feel good about the grace of God, and I thank God for it. But all of a sudden, I lost every bit of it.
You know why? I know why. Because it's the ego that feels good about doing something that the family didn't do.
And see, because I'm in the same situation. But
I know.
I want Dad to understand something. And you taught me this.
I did.
Again, yes. When there's a loss, there's obviously is a gain.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we can't focus on what was lost. We now have to focus on what is gaining. Again, you guys taught me again, and I've been sharing this a lot with Bo lately. Anything that is alive is always evolving.
Mm-hmm.
And so the thing is now, like you said, going full circle, because it's a never-ending story.
Mm-hmm.
We just got to discover what is the next chapter.
That's a good one we started today.
What is
what's next?
Yeah, what are you evolving into now?
Or will there be a next?
Okay, well let me
mind you said you lost a flock. No,
Yeah.
you lose a flock.
lose a flock.
You may have lost what
I
you
thought
was a flock, but now look at the people that's
what I thought was a flock. What I thought was a flock was a fart.
But listen.
I didn't say that.
You guys, look, you guys love us so much, and it comes across whenever you're talking about us and talking to us, and you're trying to soothe us. But when someone dies, words are cheap, isn't it?
That's the truth.
Right? When someone dies,
that's right.
Words are cheap. Nothing a person says can make that person feel better about that they lost. So Dad's gone through a loss, and I'm not talking about a building. I'm not talking about people. I'm talking about an identity.
Exactly.
And that identity, he's still mourning that identity. And so he has to go through the grieving process. I can't help him through it. None of us can help him through it. None of us can say anything that's going to make him feel better. He's just got to die. And the grieving process has to happen. And once that happens, once that takes place, he will resurrect, Brother Greason. He will resurrect from the focus of losing into the knowing of having. See, you didn't, and we've said it, there was no loss, but he has to see it.
And I find this very funny that we are discussing resurrection at this particular time, dealing with ourselves. And the reason why I said this is funny, because something that I am going to present to the church on Resurrection Sunday. Again, we are consistently, and like I said, I want people to hear me, and I'm not being judgmental or whatever, but I'm really big on this thing about purpose. Everything that happens is intentional because we serve an intelligent God. And so I want to know, what benefits am I gaining to consistently annually go through the same ritual over and over again, just to have a memory of what my Father did for us and Jesus. What am I going to gain? How is that going to be beneficial for me? It's like when when Moses was conversing with God, and he would come back and tell the children of Israel what the Lord said, and shares his experience, and then they got to the point they wanted to hear. They
Yeah.
didn't. Why God ain't talking to us? And so he didn't have no problem with it. He took them to the mountain.
Yeah.
When God began to speak, according to Scripture, it was so thunderous that they
They
couldn't
got
handle
scared.
it. And Moses, you continue to talk to him.
Mhm.
But what happened was they got stuck right there. They built camp right there at the mountain of that experience.
Yes, they
And
did.
God himself, through Moses in Deuteronomy, the Lord said that y'all stayed here too long. This is
Mhm.
not where I wanted y'all to be. So he said, turn and take your journey. This is not what I promised you. I know you had an awesome experience,
Yeah.
but I don't need you to build no memorial.
Yes. Yes. So
I
that's,
need you to move.
Pastor Norman, that's pretty much what we do as human beings when an identity is dying.
Mhm.
We try to preserve it, and we mourn it, and we grieve over the fact that because we so identified ourselves as that. But if you go all the way back to before you ever got saved, who was Clifton Sawyer?
Mhm.
You.
Who was Clifton Sawyer? Who was Antoinette? Who was Norman? Who were we at that point? We were what we're talking about now. That's what we were. We were still that, even though we didn't go through the church, we didn't, none of that. We were still what we're saying is true about us then.
Mhm.
That's what we were, and we didn't realize it. And so now we're coming to a place to realize that all of the roles we played didn't give us any value.
Nope.
None of the roles and labels that I've had gave me any value. None of the things I owned gave me any value. None of that gives you value. And Jesus knew that. And this is why he did not resist the death.
Exactly. And see, and that's the thing that I've learned, through you guys, because I was, because of my pride.
All of us
I
have
was,
it.
I was very prideful.
All of us have it.
And because I'm a fighter, I don't back down from nothing. I'm a fight. And then I realized sometimes to win a fight, you just don't fight.
Well, because Jesus never did. His form of fighting and warfare was surrender.
Exactly.
It was not aggression. It was not aggression. It was surrender.
That's right. And but because again, if we are who we say we are, then each time we are going to resurrect. There's no end. Because see, I'm discovering resurrection ain't a one-time thing in this life. Resurrection is a continuing thing. Just like being born again is a continuing.
Born again, yes.
Yeah.
And that made me think about the Matrix, because Neo, he fought that Smith all through all three trilogies.
Yep.
And even when Smith became millions, he fought Smith and he kept fighting Smith. I got tired of seeing him fight. He just kept fighting Smith, kept fighting, and never winning, never losing, never winning. Neither one losing, neither one winning. And finally, how did he beat him? He surrendered and stopped resisting.
Yep.
And when he took him in and allowed that Smith to go ahead and consume him, it backfired on him, and he actually consumed the Smith. And Smith said, "Wait a minute, something's wrong. Something's off." What was happening was the divinity that was overtook that was the Smith.
And they were actually one.
Yes.
Which is mine, because I wrote this down when you was talking. What if you wake up and you find out that the demon that you was casting out was actually you?
That's what you said. The dark side. The shadow self. The shadow self.
Exactly.
So we have to learn to embrace our shadow self. We can't keep fighting it. It's not going to be a winning and it's not going to be a losing. It's just going to be a constant fight.
And that goes back to what you said before. The ego, it always have to win. It always have to be on top. I mean, even here recently, I heard, again, just meditating that in a lot of things that I went through again, and you just said it earlier, we have to, there's a reason why we all have to go through something that we go through. You mentioned something that David said, but that was not true. I thought about Job. Job said, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. That is
That
not
wasn't
even a
true
true
either.
statement. The Lord,
That's right.
the things that God does is irrevocable. He does not withdraw.
Yeah, and we taken those scriptures and thought that was God saying that, but
No.
that was those men who were in remorse and in depression saying things.
And see, that's why I am teaching those that's part of, and I say the bold movement now, because I'm really trying to break. I have to watch the words that I use now if we are trying to break religious concepts that have kept people
And
in
you
a
are
box.
breaking them, and you are breaking them. Yeah.
And that's why, like when I was talking about the experience earlier, when I went through a certain season in my life, it caused me to forget how divine I was. But here, recently, without all of the superficial things that we had when we call ourselves having service, we are having a manifestation of God revealing things to me, to people, and I'm getting a text message the very next day of things that was said to them that is happening.
Yeah.
And so it is because I realized that we will see more of those manifestations, which we call gifts of the Spirit, which is this, again, the manifestation of Him.
And
we'll see more of that if we accept our divine selves.
And the manifestation of you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but and then, I thought about something again when you was talking about mourning. There's going to come a point, just like, no one, it had happened to me. I went through it several times, Dad, several times. We had this conversation about a month ago after the broadcast.
We all have different times when we go through and what I call death blows.
Exactly.
And we come out on the other side, get past it, get okay, and then another one will come. But it's because we're layered with identities that are not us.
It's true.
And because we're layered with so many identities that are not us, we don't realize we're just peeling the onion. And when you get right down to the core of the onion, there's no onion there. When you peel an onion, if you keep peeling,
this ain't no onion.
Listen, if you keep peeling, when you get to the core, there's no onion there.
No onion there.
I didn't call you an onion. Are you an onion?
You said my onion. No, that's an onion.
Well, when you get to the core of an onion, you don't have an onion.
But that's the core of an onion right there. You call me an onion head. She called me an onion, but 57 years. She just
looks like an onion.
See, she did it, didn't it?
But we're so layered with all these different identities that are not us. And we believe that they're us. We have believed that that's who I am, and then you find out after you go through that death, that wasn't me after all.
Mm-hmm.
But when it dies, there's a period of grief.
It is.
I said, I'm not going to try to sue Dad. I'm just going to let him go through it.
You're not going to sue me.
Well, he's going to have a Joshua. He's going to have a Joshua. He's going to have a Joshua 1 experience. That's what happened to me, where I heard the word, Moses, my servant, is dead.
Mm-hmm.
I stop all that mourning, get up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now see that there's stages. There's stages to grief.
Yeah.
When you first lose that one that you love, you have so much sadness, and then you're trying to figure out, what do I do without them? What do I do now? And then there's a period of anger that comes.
Exactly.
That you weren't able to hold that and keep that. Mm-hmm. And so those stages have to be gone through, even when it's not a physical death.
I love when you said that on Sunday about be angry and sin not.
And just go ahead and be angry.
You could be angry. Ain't nothing wrong. Be angry.
Yeah.
but don't do nothing stupid.
Just don't kill nobody. Don't kill nobody. Don't burn down the house. Don't do nothing stupid, so you have to go to jail. But be angry. Allow yourself that. Allow yourself to have that emotion. You have to be able to express that. If you're not able to express that, you're going to bottle it up. It's going to seethe inside of you. And then you're going to turn bitter. So you're going to have to go ahead and express and acknowledge, I'm angry.
And see,
Don't
one
try
of
to
the things,
pretend that you're not. So a lot of times we try to say, I'm okay. I forgive him. We'll still be mad.
and see, and I'm tired.
That's not being honest.
I'm tired of people presenting, and those what I say a Jesus, not so, because that was what was in the forefront before he was crucified, Jesus Christ, and then after the crucifixion it was Christ Jesus. But I'm tired of people presenting a Jesus as if he never had any emotions. He never dealt with his emotions. It's all through scripture.
Jesus threw him out the church.
Yeah,
he
he turned over tables, called a woman a dog, turned around in the Garden of Gethsemane. He didn't want to go through what he was
fig tree, because the fig tree didn't have no fruit on it.
Exactly,
So, you know, we have this fallacy about what we think being Christian, being godly is. And it's not to get rid of every part of you that has that humanity. God loves the humanity. In fact, God is experiencing itself through the humanity.
I now know what the secret is to what we consider people backsliding.
What is it?
Trying to be something that they were never supposed to be. That's what you're trying to be a Christian. You're trying to be, rather than just beings. You're failing at trying to become something that you was never intended to be.
That's it.
That's why you keep backsliding.
That's it.
I am backslide. I slide sideways.
Okay, Michael Jackson.
Moonwalking. Some of us moonwalking away from God.
I hear you, Michael Jackson.
I'm dog tracking. You see the tractor trailer, dog tracking going down the highway, the trailer on one side of the line and the tractor in the front on the other side. I'm dog tracking. I don't know which side is in the line.
This is a good resurrection message.
It is a resurrection.
And see, that's going back to that. That's why I mentioned to them. I want them to realize what all of this is really about.
Yeah.
Right. And you mentioned it earlier about the truth. And of course, in the words of Jesus, he said you should know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Free you from all of these false identities, free you from all of these, once again, things that's keeping you blinded to the fact of who you really are.
Yeah, can I dare say, I am the life, I am the truth, I am the way.
Yeah.
There we come to that understanding and knowledge about ourselves.
Yeah.
Well, you better be careful there. They're gonna say you calling yourself God, calling yourself Jesus. Well,
make yourself evil.
Yeah, did the same thing, and then turned around and said, "Did I not say?"
Yeah.
and it is not written in your book. See, that's why I said I can use their book and kill their sacred cow, because Jesus did the same thing. He said, "Is it not written in your law?"
Your law.
That I said.
That's it.
Ye are gods.
Yes.
And if he said it, it cannot be broken.
We're going to end on that. I tell you, that's good stuff. Good stuff. I wish I was down there to hear you preach on Sunday. I know it's going to be good. I know it's going to be good.
I waited to hear myself preaching on Sunday.
We're going to church on Sunday morning.
We'll be right here on Sunday.
Oh, we're going to church on Sunday morning.
We'll be right here on Sunday. Yeah. But yeah, thank you, Pastor Norman. That's good. That's good information, young man. Good information. You guys give him a thumbs up. Thank you, John Greason. He said hit the like and the love button. We thank you guys for tuning in to us tonight and hearing this conversation. Let us see a thumbs up if this resonated with you, if it was beneficial to you. If you're still out there, let me know. It was good. It was good. Yeah, I enjoy these conversations. I
What did Johnny
remember
Grayson said, what?
he's talking about you. Said you're a Valdelia. A Valdelia onion.
John is funny.
He is a Valdelia. He's a sweet onion. He's a sweet onion.
That's funny.
He is a sweet onion.
John, you're great.
Yeah, he is. He's a pretty
John
sweet onion.
Badea, motorcycle
I
grease.
hear you.
He is a pretty sweet onion, John. I tell you.
Them Badea onions, I never heard them till I got down in South Carolina and they come up in.
What do you mean? That's what we eat down here.
I didn't know about no Badea onion.
That's what we learned about Valdeas.
That's right. That's
Down
right.
there where Normandy is.
That's right.
That's all we get.
Well, listen.
Boy, they taste good when you cook them right, don't they?
Oh yeah. But see, I love onions. I love onions. I love onions on
Make your
everything.
breath stink.
I like them too. I like
But
them.
that's what they make Listerine
That's-
for.
They make
And
your
look,
breath
if
stink.
all of us eat onions, nobody will smell them.
I smell 'em.
Yeah, you don't eat them. He does eat them, but he doesn't know he's eating them.
Oh.
People put it in the food that he gets, and then I have cooked with him, and he still likes onions.
Sneaky, ain't
He
she?
likes onions.
She's sneaky.
He don't want the thought of an onion. He don't like the thought of an onion.
Okay.
Just like he don't like the thought of an oxtail, but he don't realize an oxtail is good.
He don't like oxtail?
You know,
Man,
mine,
what's wrong with you?
you know mine's tail.
Just cause it says tail.
I
That's all.
ain't no tail. I don't eat that.
I don't get it. I don't get
You
it.
don't know what you missing.
I know that's some good eating.
I do know I'm
Yes,
missing
Lord.
tail.
You gonna make me go get some tomorrow.
I'll just watch it.
Hey, it's all right. I eat them. That's good. That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
We
But
love
we'll be back-
ourselves
we'll
down
be back
here.
Sunday. We'll be back Sunday and at 10. And Pastor Norman, you gonna be online on Sunday?
I will. Yes, ma'am. At 9 o'clock.
We'll be online on Facebook at 9. I'll be here at 10. We both will. And we hope to see you guys. And we don't have any kids to die in the Easter eggs or anything like that. So
See that's the funny that you said it, because I was like, man, what we going to do? You know, we utilize somebody else's facility, and I don't like having that type of service. 12:30 in the day. Most people, you know, they want to get together, do their dinners and stuff. So I told them, I said, look, y'all, don't come here expecting whatever. We're gonna do what we do. We out.
Exactly. Exactly. So we said we want to tell you guys to take it easy, have fun this until we see you next time. And we're gonna see you on the turnaround.
All right.
On the turnaround.
Hands up.
Yeah.
Surrender.